I talked to the CEO a few times, so that was cool. It's not really something I expected when I came here.
What's the first couple of weeks been like? How are you feeling?
Should I?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah. My name's Jake. Should I keep going?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Does that sound okay? Yeah. Awesome.
It was very hard for me to find a marketing co-op that had to do with, mechanical fabrication, something that I wanted because I've grown up around that and I wanted to know more, and I find it all interesting.
Yeah, my name is Parker. I'm the IT co-op here at Enerfab.
How did he phrase it?
Like last summer.
Okay. My first co-op with Enerfab was last summer, and I was on site in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, working on a huge project. It was really fun.
I think the co-op program helps us identify talent and ideas for the future and where we're going, and have given us access to people we probably would have never been able to attract to our organization just by putting an ad out.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the co-op program. I didn't know who Enerfab was. It's the conduit for a lot of people to be able to come in. It's a great interview process to learn who can fit and who can't.
It's about getting people in the door that have that energy and excitement for really just being a good person and adding and contributing.
You see, it's just one of those things that you kind of get into, and now that I've been through it, I would say it's the most valuable thing that any person can do. I mean, just learning how to be in a business, there's just so much that I think it teaches you that you can't learn in school.
Having the co-op program as part of our culture really helps us develop future leaders. We have, I'd say, probably half a dozen or more former co-ops in high-level leadership positions in this organization today.
I don't think people understand the background of what goes into things to where we get beer. They have to weld together the tanks. I don't think people understand the process of how we get to where we get power plants. How do we get power? Well, it starts with somebody going to school, learning that trade, and then going through and perfecting it. And these people are all very important, and it is such crucial work.
I discovered I wanted to do construction management right around sophomore, junior year of high school, and I was also a diver. I found that UC had a great program for both construction management and diving, and it was pretty much settled after that.
I have learned so much that I did not in school. So my entire family is engineers. Dad, uncles, aunts, grandparents, anyone is an engineer. My grandpa had actually heard of Enerfab because he did generator enclosures. My dad, however, does structural steel, more like your mechanical side. So I was like, marketing, I could market that. I could do sales. My dad did that for a long time at my grandfather's company before he started his own. So when I saw Enerfab, I was like, well, I'm gonna apply. That has been really fun, connecting on a personal level. Something I'm learning how to do is pre-quals, pre-qualifications for projects. And that's really cool because they do that, and the fact that I knew what that was. So that has been an interesting dinner topic.
Well, right now I am setting up a printer for one guy, as I'm also multitasking and connecting a shared drive for another. My last couple co-op experiences, they were online, so I never really got to experience the in-person kind of job, so I was nervous to get into it, but the fact that I could just go into the break room and just talk to people, and that's definitely my favorite part about this co-op compared to the rest. So we got him connected to the J drive, and then this guy's doing the printer. There's actually a lot that goes on behind the scenes to make sure it's running properly. Once you actually get into it, you realize how much technology infrastructure there is just at a construction company alone. I'm just gonna test print and ask him if it prints when he gets back. Got to learn the network side, how our whole network and Wi-Fi and all the printers are set up on the network. I've got to learn the management side of how we're managing our user profiles and securing them. I didn't expect it to be this hands-on. I have greatly appreciated how hands-on it is.
The engineering program at UC is pretty tough, especially with having to balance co-op and the sport. But I've done a pretty good job of dealing with the pitfalls of that. I talk to my coach a lot and just have to put everything out on the table. So if it's a morning practice, I'm getting up at 5:40, going to practice for an hour 45, then running to work, getting a full day's work in, leaving, going to a lift, and then at that point it's 6:30 and I get in bed and basically knock out in the next 2 hours.
I was super stressed coming in because I thought it was gonna be like constant running around. And there is a lot of running around, but everybody's very, very flexible with it.
There's the man. Is Kylie here? Can I steal her chair?
She's out today.
If we're charging more and the other stuff is still available, pretty much everybody's gonna still use the other stuff, you know? I thought it was gonna be kind of like my last co-op where it was just the work that other people didn't want to do. So yeah, it was definitely a pleasant surprise, the kind of high-level stuff that I was given. So right now I'm just working on our weekly cash report. I don't know, it's cool because the higher ups can look at this every week and kind of know like our position, and pretty cool thinking about that. One of our largest clients, they came out with a plan recently on how they're kind of going to retire their portfolio of coal plants. So by 2045, they want to be net zero coal. For us, the way it was presented to me, if they're getting rid of their coal plants every year pretty much, that's less work for us and therefore less revenue. The problem given to me was they wanted me to make a tool to kind of help them navigate that relationship. Basically, if the company's trying to grow at a certain rate and we are still accounting for our largest client being a certain percentage of our earnings, we're trying to tell a story that you're kind of fighting that to grow.
So I have this Excel sheet that I made with about 1,100-ish vendors that we used last year, Enerfab Power and Industrial. The goal right now is to see where we stand, so then we can figure out how we want to move forward in terms of moving spending around with diversity suppliers. One of the ideas that I brought was a vendor scorecard. You take a bunch of categories that you can rate a vendor by and helps us create a preferred vendor list. I got the idea from one of my classes. I noticed that it wasn't something that we were actively doing. I had a separate manager presentation. As soon as I said it and they started giving feedback, he was saying, that's what you're gonna be doing this summer. I knew going into it that it wasn't just gonna be like coffee runs and printing papers, but I wasn't kind of sure what it would look like and what they would ask me to do specifically. Dealing with the projects that I've been doing that are maybe more large scale than I thought it would be for any co-op in general. You have the ability to be ambitious, you have the ability to speak up, you have the ability to create ideas and kind of work with, not just under.
After this semester ends, I will still continue here at Enerfab. I have started so many projects this semester, and now I get to see them through.
I kind of knew I was going to do business, but I wasn't totally sure that I wanted to do supply chain. This experience has kind of pushed me in that direction of, okay, this is what I want to do now.
I would see myself sticking with a long-term career with a company like Enerfab.
You get a great environment with the people that you're working with, a lot of support, and you're gonna make some mistakes, but that's all right, because at the end of the day, you're here to learn and everybody understands that.
I can just talk to anyone walking the room, ask for help on anything, and then also the people that on the help desk with me have normal conversations, and it's a fun little community.
I definitely think I've applied what I've learned here at a co-op into school rather than the other way around. You learn so much more when you're here on the job doing it every day.
It is It's just so different, and you have to be willing to adapt.
The fact that Enerfab values its co-ops the way that it does, being able to think your own thoughts and kind of pitch into what you think the direction of the team should go, even though it may not seem like that's really a position that you should be in, that's kind of a big deal.
It was really rewarding. Coming into Enerfab, I had no expectation of having to present stuff to some of the C-suite executives. I felt more integrated as a part of the company rather than an intern.